Dummy Switch Pod, the boys are back. How are you, Chris?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Koda's look somewhat disappointed, but I'm good. I'm good. How you doing, man?
No, that was a hiding. That was a hiding, but I'm good. I'm good myself. Lions positive result.
I, I, mm-mm, I,
Yeah,
mm-mm.
no, Lions, like I said, Lions positive result. So happy with that. But
Yeah,
I guess this European rugby, it's a mountain we are still climbing. I don't know. I think.
yeah.
But we also don't necessarily have the tools to climb it, which I guess we'll get to on a team by team basis. I know
Mm-mm.
Jake White even came out and said we need better players to make this thing work. I don't know why you would say that publicly. That's a bit of a low blow to your players that went out there and had to do their job. I mean, we all
Yeah,
thinking it, like we all thinking it, especially when they went away from
yeah,
home. But I
yeah,
don't know if it's something you can necessarily say out loud. But
yeah.
yep,
No, look, yeah, I was going to say I agree with you, and I agree with him. I think he could have maybe put it in a different way. In
yeah,
terms of, I was thinking of it from a perspective of maybe all he needs is making it attractive for other internationals to want to come to South Africa. But
yeah,
then again, financially, there's so many things that make it difficult, because if you look at those teams there in Europe, a lot of them, it's players from different countries,
yeah,
internationals, and this is the best of South Africa against the best of combination
yeah.
of nations for the most part. But yes, dominant French, especially in the top 14. But they got those
Yeah.
guys, those other guys. So I understand what Coach Jake
Yeah,
is
but
saying.
but the way that you said it, he also could have said it. It's not because the thing for me is a player couldn't come out and say, "Hey, we just need a better coach right now." That's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know.
Mm,
So yeah, but alas, I think let's start with the Sharks and then go
mm.
to the Bulls. Sharks against Bordeaux. They came out swinging. They came out swinging. They did the
Yeah,
best that they could, and I feel
yeah,
like what was getting them joy in the beginning was the fact that if you look at the first two tries, it was they got their hands free, and then they were able to play behind and score.
yeah,
So you would think they would try and do the same thing over and over, but it just didn't pan out. I mean, they did nice lead, but I mean, after that, Bordeaux just came in and dominated. They dominated in the scrums. They were just so
yeah.
good at attracting players to like middle of the field to get space out wide. Pinot hat-trick first half. Good team, good atmosphere.
Hey,
Ultimately, it's just too much for us to handle right now.
yeah. What's so disappointing for me is that just as they have a smeltering of French internationals and whatnot, we've got Sharks, we've got Springboks, we've got World Cup
Yeah.
winners, and hey, when not like that, you know what I mean? Like not like that. you know. But I
Yeah.
think it just showed the gulf in class in terms of the European competition. And we spoke about it last week in terms of, I mentioned it like about the coaching. There's
Yeah.
different IP over there. It's a different animal. If we
Yeah.
must be honest with ourselves, it's a different animal, and yeah, it's a long way to go, and look, and we're not helping ourselves in some of the aspects of, the decision making in terms of selections, the guys that you've got in there. Yes, fine, there's injuries, there's other factors that you point to,
Yeah.
long season, barely off season, things like that. But, not like that, man, and there's really, yes, there's nice things, yeah, it looks good. They came out swinging, it's you can see that the ingredients are there, but it's just at that in that competition, I think, yeah, there's got to be more, and it goes back to what Jake White is saying about, you know, the better player. I'm
Yeah.
saying, the more other experienced players, because then that'll also, help our guys, maybe youngsters coming through,
For me,
just as
it's
how, it was.
yeah. For me, it's like it's a three-pronged thing of they have the players, they have
Mm,
the when they're at home, that atmosphere, they have it. And then on top of that, it's the way that they're just playing. And when
mm,
you look at us, it's like we don't have all of those three things. And I think
yeah,
that's what's setting them apart from us in this competition is
yeah,
because you saw even
mm,
last week going away against French opposition. It's these guys they don't know what to do. They really don't know what to
yeah.
do.
Mm.
So
So it's
it's but I guess we'll catch up from my side. The Sharks ball security was a problem that I
yeah,
don't know. Again, I don't know if that is a coaching thing or that is a player thing in terms of cleaning because obviously it's on the players to clean.
yes,
Are they not getting there in time because they're lazy, or are they not getting there in time because structurally they're told to stand somewhere else?
yeah.
So
So it's
it's one of the two things. So
mm,
that
mm,
is kind of a question that needs answering. The other things in terms of the scrum, Kalusadi was having a time there. We know Nkunu is not like the best scrummager, but
yeah,
like you should be doing better.
mm, yeah. The, correct, Chorus. That's what's disappointing. That's what I'm saying, because
Yeah,
there's guys there, that, yeah, it's it's got to be better. I mean, you in the mix in the conversation to, be a future ball consistently. You've had the taste, like
yeah,
show, show, yeah, it's against your fellow countrymen, but still, you know,
yeah,
uh, it's got to be better, and I think all around it's got to be better, even down to the coaching as well. It has to be. That's the only way in Champions Cup, I think, any of the South African teams can really, you know, stake a proper claim, and maybe then, that'll start bringing in even the revenue,
yeah,
to foster that, But right now, hey, it's gonna be hidings all the way and back to Europe. Hidings back to Europe. That's that's what it is. And even there in Europa League, the Challenge Cup, it's not also clear cut as well.
yeah. The
Because
Lions. I mean, the
it's
Lions
so
saw themselves what can happen. But I believe I think it's the three SA teams there. One of them will win. I believe
yeah,
one of them will win.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's also just that away. Once we can get that, our teams can get that consistency, especially away from home, of performance where sometimes you have to look if you're burgling 2 points,
Yeah,
but yes, obviously the objective is a win, but you have to, you got to compete, and it's got to be better. Yeah, that's all really. It was heartbreaking, man.
yeah.
There's too much
Moving.
because you've got guys there. Imagine, can you imagine what that's? You just took 60,
Yeah. Check a 60. Eh?
and last week the thing is that if you look at it from last week's performance, yes, against Toulouse, okay, cool, you were at home, but you would have thought that there was going to be a sort of elevation to say, okay,
Yeah.
but yeah, they
That's why I say
flirted.
we don't have those three
To just
things. We don't have that atmosphere at home where it's now
mm,
it's a cauldron there where it's now
yeah, it's
it's do
hostile.
or die. We don't have
Too
that. We don't
nice.
have the players,
Too
and then we don't
nice
have
in
the
South
coaching.
Africa.
Yeah.
Too nice. It's too nice,
But
That's
anyway,
why Jake White is saying what he's saying. It's too nice.
yeah. Let's move on to the Bulls. Bulls strong team at home. like I said, him saying we need better players, but when they're at home, they're afforded the luxury of
Yeah,
playing the stronger team. They played Stade Francais.
yeah.
Stade Francais, I don't, yeah, I think they also just sent some other guys because this one was not,
Mm.
it wasn't a good one. For me, Hanekom, he just underlined how influential of a player he is, and he,
Yeah,
staking his claim to say more ball caps. Why aren't I involved further? And then the other thing for me was the scrum, Wilco Low again. The scrum dominance is
yeah.
it's ridiculous. That's like high school level scrum dominance where you're playing an Afrikaans team or something, and they just every single
Yeah,
time you're just
they just having
struggling, just
sort of,
yeah. So it's just those are the two takeaways from me. Besides that, I mean, it's just the Bulls being the Bulls. Once they get in that rhythm, once they start
yeah.
those waves of attack, structurally they're very good. They know how to set, you know, players know where they should be. I think Mark was the only non-Bok in the forward pack. These
I
guys, they know what they're
was
doing. My only thing
I was
is,
about to say,
yeah, the only
sorry,
thing
Coolers, I
for
was about
me
to say
is,
the box did what they did, the guys that are
yeah,
in the box mix.
yeah, the only thing was it was a bit stop-start due to, little errors, knock-ons, which
Mm.
will frustrate the fan base. And besides that, I just feel like this team is missing the 5%
Mm.
that will take them to a championship or a URC, and that 5% I believe goes back to an emotional part of it. Where it's like I
Mm.
don't believe these guys are happy to be there. I won't lie. I
Yeah.
don't think they it's it's just it's the job is the job, but
The
there's no
job.
like yeah, there's no emotional component to it. You heard Nokia came out I think last week and was saying
Yeah.
like when he went to the box it like reinvigorated
Mm.
his love
Mm.
for rugby again, especially after losing in the final. It did something
Mm.
and I believe that emotional part is what's missing from this team, especially when you got
Um,
a boss that's now saying, "Oh, we need better employees." It's
that,
not,
yeah.
yeah. So that's like it's margins. Winning a
Yeah.
championship is margins, and I
Yeah.
believe that
Yeah.
that's what's missing
Yeah.
from this team.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, there's a history with the boss, where it ends up sour, in the change
Yeah,
room. So, I agree with you. That 5%. There isn't that glue that's holding them together. Where
yeah,
no matter what, no matter they taking anybody and everybody down because they've got the ingredients, and I mean they started building that roster way before the other teams sort of
yeah,
started, like the Sharks started catching up, to put it that way, not really necessarily all the other teams, but yeah, they've been leading the way with that. And it should only natural, like you say, that they can win the championship, but that missing element, without that, it's not going to happen, and again, yes, the different type of players, more experienced players, I say, but also I also go back to different also coaching ideas
yeah,
as well. Especially if you're playing across all, if you're looking to compete in the top two tournaments, the URC and Champions Cup. Because we know Challenge Cup you go down in any case, but
yeah,
let's look at it as those two. Then it needs to be better, and also the guys need to have something more that they want to play for, So
yeah,
yeah, it's a tricky one though because they're good enough in the box. Like I was saying, the guys that are in the box mix and have been guys that they, there was a different intent about them this week. Obviously, they're at home, but they got down. They did their jobs. They did it
yeah.
well. So at the end of the day, it becomes hard to stop. Once they get on that roll.
Yeah, for me, the only other thing that kind of keeps reappearing here is that Huijsen isn't the guy to take them at 10. He got injured. It looks like a more of a serious injury. Personally, I like Buta at the wheel. I've always liked him as a player. I just feel like he needs like a more extended run at 10, and he'll be able to fill that gap.
Mm,
I know they Chris Smith left, so options at 10 are kind of thin. But for me, I'd go with Buta and just back him and see what happens,
yeah.
especially with Kusin out.
Mm. I mean, he's done it before, right? So, and he can do
Yeah,
it. So, back Porter.
yeah. I think that's it with the Bulls. We'll see them this weekend as the Lions. Let's go to the Lions now. Lions again. No Nohamba, no low contract disputes because they're
Disputes.
signing for other clubs. Then the Lions are just choosing not to select them. Not a clever policy, I believe, but a policy that, as a Lions supporter, we've seen over the past, I think, 3 or 4 seasons, they have been doing this. They did it to Sitole as well. I can't like they keep on doing it. I think the last
Um,
guy was like Berger Odendahl. They knew he was leaving and he was the captain, and they still played him. That was like the
mm.
last. So it's like, why do they do it for some people but they don't do it for others? I don't know, because it was the same coaching staff. I guess, yeah, some people are different from others. Besides that, Fenter's back. Ron Fenter, Oosthuizen, he's also
Yeah, he had a
back.
big comeback.
Yeah, those guys, they brought the physicality that was
Mm,
missing when we were
mm.
playing in France. That bit of go forward. And like even Fairflight being there, he was sharp. Again, that thing of guys going to the box and then when they come back, they look better. He's
Yeah.
looking, he's looking, his form just picked up. But poor opposition, that's what I'll say. Dragons, it's not really a good team.
So only
So you'd
right.
like, yeah, so you'd like to see this against better opposition. That's my only thing is that as much as we won, that's the feeling is that it's
Mm.
Dragons. We need to be doing this against better opposition, against French opposition. It's just, I guess I'm also still upset from the week before when it was completely terrible. But I mean, it was good to see Jonker, especially in that playmaking role, the things
Yeah.
that he was able to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. I
So
like that. I
that,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah, he had a game, but I think those are the only positives. And again, it's just the Nohamba thing, low thing. It's also like a dark cloud over the team.
Yeah. Hey, administration. And I think that other guy is the administrator still, camping guy. But, you know, um, look, that's it's again, if you look all the South African teams, they're frustrating in that aspect,
Yeah,
because yeah, you come home, yes, you're home, then let's jam, you know,
yeah,
and okay, it's like you say, you know, you want to see that against better opposition, because then no, my team, our teams are those guys, where they can go
yeah,
anywhere and beat anybody. And it's, yeah. And yeah, Dragons, they must do it. It was only right, but it was good to see guys like, Gianni
yeah,
Lombard being out there, a bit of a more of an extended runish, and Manny Ras. You haven't seen those guys score
yeah,
tries in a long time. Must be feel good for them. But then again, I think like Run Fenta, I think Jesus is big. You see what they're missing in terms of
yeah,
that go forward and that grant that he's got. So it's they're still a good team. If they also just need to I think it's the same for all the teams, especially when it comes to Europe. But Challenge Cup, okay, there's opportunities there. I'll say that, and I'm not disrespecting the Lions, but I'm just saying that at the moment that's where for them, that should be the realistic goal. To say okay, maybe we can get one. But not too bad, man. It's not doom and gloom because at least your guys they try and play, consistently,
yeah.
so
But I guess we'll see. Stormers rotated team. Dierval Dervenacker and Clayton Blomekes and the likes playing. Hey. The geriatric
rolling
scrum
back the
halves
clock,
old
rolling
school,
back the
bringing old
clock.
school.
I said taking back to 1993.
But I mean, he was okay. He was okay, and
Yeah,
I feel like in this game is again it's that classic Stormers. It's the genetic of hanging around in a game. You know,
yeah,
when it got to a two try lead, they'd cut it back down, and then Racing get another lead, they'll cut it back down, and they'll just hang around to the point where there were 2 points in it deep into the second half, and now you're thinking
yeah,
like they can do something. The thing I'll say is that
uh,
when we talk about the other guys and guys filling in, they stepped up in this one, and those
yeah,
they stepped up with the Owen Farrells and
yeah,
they were there. They
yeah,
were there. Mattia
yeah. They
and
were there.
he was matching them. They were going CV for CV.
Yes.
So that's the thing that I have to say is that okay, maybe we are seeing some South African teams rise. Maybe we're
Look,
seeing
that's what we were
some.
saying last week. They were like, "But play."
Yes. So that I think that's the positive things here.
Yeah.
The scrum stood up. Ruiz was making meters. Uh, Simelani, he was getting bounced. Yeah, that one unfortunate,
No, hey,
but
that was look. It was always gonna be a tough day for him. Let's be
yeah,
honest. Like in his defense, come on, hey.
yeah.
You see that guy too silver. You see me. Let's be honest, bro.
When you hear those the Fijian Guijos from the next change room, you're just like, hey, no, those Fijian Guijos. When you hear that, it's just
Hey,
like, it's gonna be a tough
this
day.
defense, it was gonna be a tough day, bro. Hey,
Yeah,
man for man here, bro. How many kgs does he have on him? Just kilograms. We're not even talking stature, but look, the Stormers, that thing from last week, play.
yeah,
They just seem like they've unburdened themselves and they just playing.
yeah,
And and that's what's always worked for them, and the fact that they got close, that'll be, I think, good sign for them. A little bit frustrating, yes, but you see the difference that guys like you say, even Russ, but their scrum, I think, the whole season really across most of the competitions they've been pretty good. If we
yeah,
really looking at it, they've been,
yeah. Both
so
and Sitole and Fushia are very, very good scrumming props.
yeah, so. Yeah, and you saw, even look, when guys like Herschel Yankees came on, although I think
Yeah,
you saw the difference, the tempo, that they were able to keep. So yeah, they've got something, but I also think it's also the influence of having the guys, your Dion Faris back, like fully, Russ
mm,
back as well, and yes, obviously I think, like I said, they just seemed unburdened by whatever was that was holding them, that was making them look pretty ordinary early doors in the season.
yeah. I think it's those guys stepping up. Herschel Yankees, like you said, his cameo was very good. Like you say, tempo, pace, and I like just a different approach. I like, when you change
Mm.
scrum half, especially, I like them to
Yeah,
play a different way. If maybe the way that he was attacking the line, playing flat, doing like you want to see something else. You don't want to bring on like for like
he's preparing
necessarily.
for Japan. That's why, he's preparing for
It's
Japan.
France. It's
Those,
him and Reinach. They're swapping houses.
yeah,
He's
oh
going
yeah,
to
it's
Reina's
France. My
team.
bad.
Reina's
But yeah, he's preparing for that tempo because that's the
yeah,
tempo that they play that side where that ball just moves.
yeah.
But
So the only other thing that's a bit disappointing for them was the lineouts, and I think it's also when Dweba went off, which is funny because he's the guy that normally gets hit for the lineouts, but the lineouts were disappointing. Uh,
yeah,
yeah, that's just something that they need to sort out if they're gonna build past this point.
and
They've built to a point, but now because I believe this game maybe
they could have won it.
they did have some starters there. They did, they sprinkled a few in. But I
Yeah,
believe if there were a few more starters, they would have won this game.
I think they could have won it. Yeah, but I think the frustrating part why is also, when you talk about those lineouts, is those are opportunities that they failed to capitalize on.
Yeah.
There's those things where yes, you can look at it positive, can be, but then also it's from that aspect of if you're going to win, games, those those core elements you have to nail those
Yeah.
moments, and you have to punish teams, when you're in the position to do so, you have to, knock them down. But yeah, like you say, they need to get to that next level.
Yeah. Then moving on, URC back this weekend. Lions hosting the Bulls at Ellis Park.
Yeah,
We've got
that's gonna be a game.
Leinster hosting the Stormers, and then Cardiff, Cardiff versus the Sharks. Hopefully, you'll see what the Sharks can do there. Are you
Ah,
optimistic?
look, look, if they don't beat Cardiff,
Yeah.
so I'm 50-50, you know,
Okay.
50-50, honestly, because you just don't know what
Yeah.
you're gonna get. You know,
Yeah.
you expect the result, but at the moment they're finding it difficult, So yeah, but should get it, should get it.
Yeah. Stormers also. I think we'll see the Manis and the guys that were in the stands, the
Yeah,
that were watching on the Galants. I think we'll see them there, and then Lions Bulls. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. I think, especially off of they both came off strong results, but we'll
yeah.
see that those Bulls waves of attacks. But I'm gonna back my boys, man. I'm gonna back my boys.
But Lions, it's a different game at Ellis Park.
Yeah,
It's a different game at Ellis Park. So I say maybe your boys they can. I
Cash must
mean, look,
Cash must put
the
his
guys are
pride
good.
aside. You must put your pride aside and just say no hamba low. Start both.
Yeah.
Because they've been game planning for Sam
Mm.
Francis the whole week. That's who they think is gonna be, or they think it's gonna be
Yeah,
Niku Stain, or they think,
yeah.
but
Just boom.
then they just say no Hamba low. Then now it's a different picture. But I
Plus,
guess,
plus
and
the
it was
Bulls
no
were told
Hamba's
they need
birthday.
better
It was his
players.
birthday, and then they don't even select the guy. I'm so
Bruh. They just said
my
happy
heart is
birthday.
sore. My heart is
Say happy
sore.
birthday. Enjoy. Happy
Yeah,
birthday.
take the week off. He just said take the week off.
Yeah, just we don't need you, man. And look, you're not. But the UFC's back, so it's
Yeah,
gonna be exciting, But I think Lions at Ellis Park is different, and there's a
yeah.
jet ski, yeah, jet ski derby. So
Mm.
it's gonna be that.
Yeah,
Stormers one is gonna be a test.
last time
Yeah,
Jake
yeah.
was
Sorry.
complaining about the air conditioning. So he said the air conditioning wasn't
You see,
sufficient. So
yeah,
we'll see what he
well,
says this week.
it's the concrete jungle down there, So hey, you know. But yeah, I think Lions should do it. Stormers, Leinster will be there. It's going to be a game, that one. I think,
Yeah,
Leinster, hey, it's a different machine. But yeah,
yeah.
then the Sharks, they must just do it, you know.
Yeah, closing remarks.
Just do it. The Sharks, they just gotta, please, man. Hey, please, because it's gonna be embarrassing, you
Yeah.
know. So,
Yeah,
mm.
after 60. But I think that's it from us, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.